And with us to talk about this and a host of other issues and to take your calls is Bob Chapman, the international forecaster. Bob, I want to get into flu in the next segment. First off, though, 23.7 trillion. Every 2 or 3 months we get new numbers. 10 months in, 23.7 trillion given to offshore banks, and it's all coming to a head as members of Congress and others continue to ask the private Fed chairman, the crook in chief, Bernanke, where is the money? And he says, I'm not going to tell you nothing. This is really coming to a head. I don't see Obama and his people getting away with this without staging some terror attacks.
Well, I think what's been going on is this for many, many years. And I identified it about 15 years ago. And when Treasury had trouble raising money, miraculously the buying would come out of either London or through the other tax havens, as they're called, like the Cayman Islands. And I believe, and I cannot prove this, that they, the Fed, have maintained secrets accounts over there, and they do buying through there, and it shows up like they were hedge funds. And they may even be doing a private hedge fund to do it as a cover. And they also would transfer funds to London and have it done there because the Middle East, particularly the Arab oil interests, for years have bought lots of treasuries. That was part of the deal that they made years ago.
So they're doing plunge protection team stuff all over the world. They admit in the last 6 months, $500 billion alone that they then fractional reserve leverage. But according to you and others, they're not even following fractional now. They're leveraging it with even more paper made-up crap to now Max Kaiser and other economists are saying a quantum level larger or to infinity, and they expect us to pay off the infinity of debt they've made.
That's correct. And they think that everything that belongs to us doesn't. It belongs to them. And I think Americans in particular, and maybe eventually people of the world, are going to see that they can just arbitrarily take people's wealth away from them. And this is where this whole thing is headed. And the secrecy, sure, Congress is mad about it. You know why? Because they can't hide their money like people from Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase and the Fed and all the banks. They can't launder
everything's going to be fed into Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and the Bank of England with SWAT teams in the military standing by to extract it. Bob, I want to get into this after we cover the flu, but I want to make sure we revisit this in great detail and go over this kleptocracy, this worldwide looting system that is the New World Order. TheInternationalForecaster.com is his website. It's there on screen for you as we're here live at PrisonPlanet.tv. But I want to finish up with the flu and get your take on that as I recap the latest developments there. This is shaping up really bad, and get your expert analysis on that on the other side. And then we'll open the phones up as well after we cover the economy and the $23.7 trillion stolen. And if they get away with that, why not even more? Sky's the limit. Bob Chapman, formerly with military intelligence. Then he was one of the most successful gold and silver brokers privately and helped get GM Griffin going with some of his material. Worked, of course, with Gary Allen with that seminal book, I don't know, 4 or 5 million in print of None Dare Call a Conspiracy. Then at one time he had the biggest financial newsletter out there, the International Forecaster. Then he went into retirement. He's come back out of retirement to fight the globalists one more time. And it's always great to have him pop in each and every Friday with us. Your calls are coming up at the bottom of the hour. Josh, Jasper, John, and many others. The toll-free number today to talk about any issue you wish is 1-800-259-9231. All right, let me just recap this and get into the latest developments and get Bob's take on it. And then I want to move on into the banking and the $23.7 trillion that's been stolen and the latest numbers that came out earlier this week. Okay, Bob Chapman's been holding while I was ranting. Bob, this is really starting to take shape in a scary way. What do you see with your background in Army intelligence, counterintelligence? What do you see here or in your economic background? Baxter Pharmaceutical secretly mixing live bird flu, according to London Telegraph, A bunch of people die that take other bird flu vaccine trials. In fact, put that on screen, folks. What is going on here, Bob?
Well, first of all, the flu in 1918 was injected into servicemen who spread it not only in the United States and Europe, and then it became pandemic throughout the world. I don't know what their intentions were at the time. My grandfather died from it, and my father came a whisper away from dying. So the swine flu of 1918, known as the Spanish flu, had it been that effective on my 6-year-old dad, I wouldn't be here today. This is another experiment, but this time it's bigger. Number one, they're going to make a pile of money for the pharmaceutical companies, the major shareholders of which are foundations and the Illuminati. They want crowd control. They want to be able to herd people around and make them do what they want to do. And you talked about firemen and policemen refusing to do inoculations and things like that because obviously somebody told them where this was all leading to. I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to use the shots to spread the flu. That's what I think, and as you have pointed out so many times, they want to reduce population. Whether it's adults or children, they don't care. They just want to get them out of the way. And so I think those are the salient factors. If you probably noticed, there is a journalist in Austria who filed a suit against Baxter, and then she filed some other suits against the UN and the World Bank and who everybody else is involved in this thing. And Alex, it's a giant scam, but it's going to kill a lot of people because they're going to be the killer, the government.
Well, we forget history, and your grandfather was killed, your dad almost killed. It's on record that they had an inoculation program at 1, and then it came out later, 8 different military bases. The troops all dropped dead. They spread it. It was a bioweapon. Same thing in 76. It broke out at military bases. Then it was the vaccine after. I got 60 Minutes right here. I just put it on screen for people at PrisonPlanet.tv that killed people. And
Alex,
then take Gardasil.
It's a biological MK Ultra.
Well, it is. It's a psyop. But you know what's amazing here to me, Bob, is that the Gardasil, 3 years ago, they had the trials, killed masses of young women that took the human papillomavirus shot. The insert for the vaccine, live cancer virus vaccine, admits it doesn't even protect you from it. Thousands of strains, 300-plus active of this human papillomavirus. And then it's killing the girls en masse now. It's like a test. We can give it to you, it kills you, and then we don't even get in trouble.
And get rid of the breeders.
Yeah, they're targeting our little girls. Just like, well, I mean, folks, I just can't handle it anymore. Bob, let's continue along this line and into the economy. But I hope it made sense for everybody, and I want Bob to comment on this. The flu isn't killing anybody, but they're saying they're getting ready to forcibly inject us. I mean, how obvious is this? And they admit this shot doesn't even protect you from it.